you very much, and welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting. We're glad everyone is here, and I think this is going to be an entertaining and hopefully informational meeting, as well as some important decision making. And so I'd like to welcome you and thank you for your interest in higher education. We've had a number of things happen at the university. I'm going to concentrate primarily on Magnolia. Dr. Lampkin concentrate on primarily on East Camden. And we will, but the engineering, the breakthrough really is the engineering program. And 10 years ago, as I told the Arkansas Higher Education Coordinating Board, we weren't ready. But I said, now we're ready. And with the construction of the new Science Center and the new Ag Center and the Natural Research Center, we were ready. And we had some interesting discussions at the Arkansas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and we had some dissenters. But they all, after the arguments were over and all was said and done, we had a unanimous vote in favor of adding general engineering to Southern Arkansas University's curriculum. And we're very pleased with the consultants that came through that said, number one, there's a need in the area. Number two, we feel like that Southern Arkansas University has the ability to deliver the program. And number three, we believe they can become ABET accredited, which is the gold standard in terms of accreditation in engineering and technology. So this was a tremendous breakthrough for us. We feel like that it's going to set the stage for some exciting things to come. One of the things that was so important to us was the large amount of industry support we received from the Golden Triangle. And if you read some of those names, you'll see that they cover all of the three major cities and areas in South Arkansas. And it really helped us because the industry need was demonstrated very carefully. And as a result of that, I think we had a real running start of getting this program improved. I want to mention the possible construction. And as you can see, this facility right here is already in place. These are two engineering buildings that would be phase one and phase two. And we hope to come back to the board in the next meeting or so and with some plans for the construction of at least phase one of that. Primarily this being toward the mechanical engineering, which takes more space and more equipment and so forth. Probably similar type of construction as to match what's behind the Department of Agriculture in that particular facility. But we've already hired a new engineering faculty member. We already have several on staff. I think we're ready to go, and the steam is building. And by the way, I will mention that normally you cannot become ABET accredited until you have had a graduating class. And normally you think, well, it would take 4 years to have a graduating class. But we have a lot of students in engineering physics who are already sophomores today. They will be juniors in the fall. Many of these will move over to the engineering program. So we should have a graduating class in 2 years and be able to look at ABET accreditation hopefully within 3 years. So that's certainly our short-range plan to accomplish that. Another program that we believe is going to be very, very valuable is the program on marine biology. Coming April 25th, and that will be a vote by the Arkansas Higher Education Coordinating Board, and we hope they will vote in the affirmative, which I believe they will. And that then will give our students an additional opportunity to, and since we're in a rural area, this is a very, very important program. We have some cooperative agreements with some other institutions, and I think this is going to be very, very productive. One of the things that I want to mention, Dr. Crayberry has worked very hard on this, and that is expanding our reach. And that is one of the things that we feel like is very important to the university is to expand the reach. We now have satellite campuses in each of these communities. And in several of the communities, we have faculty members who are actually residing there, such as in Texarkana. Have faculty members residing there and also a major recruiter in that area. And it's beginning to pay rich dividends. If you're coming down US 167, just before you get into Sheridan, you'll see a picture of talking about you want to be a teacher, and on that slide is one of the teachers who just retired from the Sheridan school system. So it's been very effective. She's gotten a lot of calls as a result of that. We believe it's going to be very successful. But there are a number of students. We have the Texarkana program has really taken off, and then that is, by the way, in Hampton, Ian and Jack Daugherty, who is from Magnolia, obviously was part of that, and they allow us to go over there and teach classes, and it's being very successful, giving us an opportunity to move into market areas we have not been in as often as in the past. I want to mention the record enrollment for the spring, 551 students. So if you add both of the campuses together, that's a 3% increase over the previous spring. Very nice. We had some enrollment increases in the fall. That was very nice too. These are hard to sustain in areas that are not population growing, but that's why we think our reach has to be longer. We just have to have longer arms than we had before. I was very pleased today to have a young lady and her father come in my office, and they were from a town on up further in Arkansas, and they were very interested in southern Arkansas, and I think they're going to come here. So we believe that our reputation is expanding. I want to mention the horticulture complex. If you haven't been back there to see it, feel free to drive back around and look at that. This is the latest technology. Now, if you just look at it on the surface, you think, well, it just looks like a greenhouse. But when you get inside and you look at the technology and the ways that the temperature is controlled in there, it's very, very up to date and cutting edge as far as we're concerned. And in addition to that, there's what we call a head house. I didn't even know what that meant until that was explained to me. But this is the house that helps support the greenhouses and has all of the equipment and other types of areas to run experiments and research that supports the horticulture area. Understand this replaces the dairy, because basically if we moved out of the dairy, we've moved into horticulture, and it's going to get larger. We hope to have orchards and other things that are going to be built here in the not too distant future. Story Arena, wow, 2 years in planning and 3 years in the construction, and it's almost through. And we've had a major rodeo out there, so a cattle sale and some high school rodeos, and we had a great crowd out there for the collegiate rodeo for the Ozark region. Highly successful all 3 nights. And you can see that we filled up the restaurants around town, the hotels around town. It was very, very successful. There's a great area in the middle for receptions, and we are very, very pleased for the Story family and the contribution they made. And Ms. Keith, Farmers Bank and Trust, was also very generous with the Farmers Bank and Trust Reception Center, which is off to your right, the arena to the left. But this is a great area for the different associations when they come. Say the Cutting Horse Association comes to Magnolia, to southern Arkansas, they can have their board meetings. We have a nice board meeting room, and they can all have receptions out in this particular area. And you can see here, this is a nice fireplace. We kind of copied this from Texarkana. Texarkana Convention Center had a fireplace out there. We looked at that and thought that would look really good here in Magnolia, and there it is. And so it's an LP gas fireplace, and a great place to visit and enjoy. So we feel like this is going to be a tremendous asset. It's almost finished, and Colonel Lewis and Physical Plant and everybody else has worked really hard on trying to pull this off, and we've just about got it all done. A few little glitches we have to fix, but we're getting very close. We almost didn't have enough parking, believe it or not, and we managed, but we added a little gravel, and it's going to be great. Here's inside the arena, 2 acres under roof, and it is absolutely spectacular. It's almost like we had our grand opening when we had the rodeo, but what we're going to do is this fall, we want to have, when we have the collegiate rodeo in the fall, we want to have a grand entry, probably be on Saturday night, and then we will do some things that are very, very special. We might even get Roger Giles out there with his cowboy hat and his horse to ride. And he's got his cowboy boots on today, Father. So it's going to be special. Maybe Mr. Story and his Percheron horses and wagons and some mule riders and so forth. So that'd be something we can look forward to the fall. But this is a spectacular facility. Now, I want to mention the softball complex. I had somebody ask me the other day, were we through with it? No, we're not through with it. We had some other plans. But this is kind of a combination between athletics and student affairs to build this. Athletics built one side, student affairs built the other. It's a carbon copy. There are 2 fields. It's really starting to look nice. And we're going to continue to work on that until we get it just like we want it. But I want to mention a young lady by the name of Shelby Miller. She was this last week named National Player of the Week. Now, we haven't had that, National Player of the Week. And I looked at her stats. She had a batting average of 648. She had 4 home runs, 12 RBIs, and at 19 at-bats, she had 13 hits in 1 week. So I thought, my gracious, what a young lady. And so that is, and by the way, she's a freshman. So that kind of performance is absolutely outstanding. Here's the softball bridge. Colonel Lewis engineered this. It is handicapped accessible, as well as being able to walk up that from the parking lot. You can move up there if you're challenged, and it's going to be very, very nice. In fact, I think they're working on that today, Jasper, I believe, as we speak. And I think it'd be a very nice way to get up the hill to the softball complex. I want to mention the Watson Center. We've done a lot of things down there to try to make it look better. It is a small arena, but on the other hand, it's a center, but it has great atmosphere when you have a good crowd. And so we want to make it look as nice as possible. One of the things that is a breakthrough is it's going to be air conditioned. This will be the first time in 50 years. And it's going to be air conditioned. And you can see the vents up there at the top. This is where the air conditioner vents are going to come through and run across the roof. And we almost had a little bit of a disaster because they were coming across the roof and they were only 20 feet high, and the volleyball coach said they had to be 25 feet high. So I had to go back and they had to figure out how to make it. So it's going to come across, these blue socks will come across the top of the ceiling. And we hope, by the way, members of the board, that when we have graduate, we'll have the nursing graduation and graduate graduation in W.T. Watson Center. Lord willing, it's going to be air conditioned. And it'll be cool. So you won't have sweat run down your back. And the students the same way. So hopefully it's going to be a very, very positive experience. I want to mention also the SAU Tech Student Center. Dr. Lampton's going to mention that in just a little bit and show you some slides. That project is nearing completion, and it could not have been done without the university doing it. And I think that pulling together as one unit, issuing those bonds, making that happen, an awful lot of hard work from the SAU Tech administration and staff made this happen. And I'm just very appreciative for the way we were able to do that, and I think it's an exciting thing to come. I want to mention some of the championship events. Some of you may want to come to these, and if you'd like to, we'd certainly like to encourage you. The men's and women's golf are going to be in Hot Springs, April 13th through the 15th. Softball's in Bentonville, Arkansas, and then baseball again will be in Enid, Oklahoma. And if you like the rodeo, the College Collegiate National Finals is in Casper, Wyoming. Rusty Hayes tells me we'll have 6 to 7 or 8 students who will qualify for the nationals, and they'll be going that direction. I want to mention to you Seussical the Musical. I'd really like to encourage you to come see this. We've not done a full-fledged musical in many, many years. And Clayton Geltner, who is now the new director of theater, has taken this on, and I think is doing a masterful job of pulling together a full-fledged, really collegiate quality musical. And so this is going to be April 24th through the 26th. I'd encourage you to come. I think it's going to be an outstanding production, and I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Let me encourage you, with the influence that you have, to help us promote the university to the area of business and industry, particularly doctor's offices, restaurants, other public areas. If they would like to have one of these pictures, we've got a large number of them. They can pick from. It won't cost them a nickel. We'll come and hang them up for them. Michael Westbrook right there is your man. He's 502-335-5090, and you are call and ask for Michael, or call and ask for Miss Ann or myself, and he will have somebody bring one of these by for you. We really want this area to realize that we have a university here, and it's important when people come into town to see that on the walls and places. I was impressed with Cleveland, Mississippi, as I saw Delta State materials all over the town, in the restaurants and so forth, and I think that's something we need to do here. But all of it, we have many, many views that you can get if you pick one of these up and hang it up, we'd be appreciative. Finally, the mule rider license plate. We see more and more of these out all the time. And I'll never forget, I was in Little Rock, and right in front of me was the Razorback license plate, and I thought, well, gosh, they do that. Looks like we could do that. And we were able to get one, and then we revamped it, and here's the new one. And every place you go, you'll be advertising the university. So if you've not done that, it costs $35 extra. $25 is a tax donation to the SAU Foundation. That $25 goes to the foundation, $10 to the state for their trouble. But it's a real way to promote the university, and I really encourage you to do that if you'd like to. I was mentioning at lunch, we do advertising and making it cool to ride a mule, and it is becoming that way. We had 9 students who tried out for mule rider, and to replace Megan May. A new mule rider is Peyton Baird, and her family actually raises mules. She She's going to be an outstanding addition to that. And so we have really worked on this and used it as kind of a way to promote the university. I'm going to ask Michael to come up and play you a little video. It's cool to ride a vehicle.